ISS is one of the biggest facility service companies in the world. It was founded in 1909 in Copenhagen and has since then grown massively. In these 2 weeks, I've been working primarily with their UK and Ireland section, so I'll be focusing on that throughout my presentation. ISS UK has approximately 43,000 employees, 4,000 suppliers, and a revenue of about £1.3 billion. As a facility service company, ISS UK provides several services such as cleaning, security, food, technical, and support. Their mission statements are as follows. Their vision is, we are going to be the world's greatest service organization. And their mission is, service performance that facilitates our customers' purpose through people empowerment. While working with the risk team, I was forwarded a bunch of emails regarding business continuity plans for different client bases where we operate. My task was to sort these into an Excel file showing clearly which operations at client bases were critical, meaning that they have to have a BCP, which client bases had BCPs and which didn't, and further important comments regarding these plans. Regarding these business continuity plans, I also attended a couple of Skype meetings where it was discussed whether the operations at the client base was critical and if a BCP should be implemented. Another task I was given in the week with the risk team was reading company policies and making sure that they were up to date with the UK laws as well as the criteria set by ISS Group in Copenhagen. These included the fraud policy, which needed to implement the corporate criminal offense law from 2017, and other few edits. Another important policy I looked at was the anti-slavery policy, which was made in regard to the Modern Slavery Act in the UK in 2015. In my week with supply chain and procurement, a lot of the time was spent on me learning about the systems used and which tasks the different people do. Firstly, I was explained how ISS UK implemented the procurement cycle in their procurement, which is illustrated on the picture on the upper right corner. ISS UK have just implemented a system called ProcurePass, which is used to identify the level of risk present when using a specific supplier. It is based upon the product risk, the environmental risk, and the amount of Great British pounds spent with the supplier, and thereafter categorizes the suppliers into 3 levels of risk. From there, ISS UK can find solutions to problems occurring with the high-risk suppliers and make sure to maintain the correct level of relationship based upon the risk level. Their goal is to have 80% of their suppliers to have filled out the information to the correct level in ProcurePass by the end of the year. In the week with supply chain and procurement, I listened on several calls regarding this goal and have seen the development of ISS UK nearing their 80% goal. Another new system for ISS UK is a purchasing and ordering system named Coupa. This is still new for the company, not everything is running smoothly yet, but I have been in meetings regarding Coupa and the small glitches in the system which need to be perfected. Other than that, I've been introduced to spend analysis using data from their data source, Sivo, which I was also introduced to. In the spend analysis, the people in supply chain and procurement look at KPIs, compliance, and rebates. While learning about these systems and how ISS UK analyze these numbers, I was also introduced to different ways of sorting massive amounts of data in Excel, which I thought was really nice to know for the future. I was also briefly introduced to their invoicing system called Navision, which helped tie all the other systems together to form a clear picture of how procurement runs in the company. Lastly, I looked at the supply chain relationship management, how ISS UK prioritizes their suppliers and maintains the relationship necessary with them. In supply chain and procurement, I had a lot of introduction and learning, which made sense since their system is quite hard to understand. The only actual real task that I had was to run through the supply chain relationship management guidance and identify anything unclear to make sure that when the operators read it, they would understand everything and be able to follow it. As I've been working with the procurement team, the tasks that I have been involved in contribute to the support activities regarding procurement. I've also been looking at different policies regarding the safety and rights of employees, which contributes to the value added in human resource management. As the company is so large, the safety and rights of employees is very important for the company's reputation. Within procurement, it is vital for the company to run smoothly, and by negotiating with suppliers, ISS UK can provide the best prices. For the political factors, The UK is considered as one of the strongest and most powerful countries in the world due to their constitutional monarchy based on parliamentary democracy. Brexit has created some uncertainties, and the population of the UK are split in the decision on leaving the EU. This could affect ISS UK as it is such a big and worldwide company, which is why they would have to consider it. For the economical factors, the UK is the fifth largest economy in the world in terms of nominal GDP, and their employment is decreasing and is at 4.3% in 2017, which makes it a very good country to do business in. On the other hand, Brexit can also affect this, especially the terms of trade due to the relationship with other EU countries. The pound has been decreasing in value and inflation has been growing. ISS UK will have to adapt to these changes in the economy and always be aware of further changes. For the social factors, the UK society has in a very long time been influenced by the social class concept, but are developing and becoming more diverse and multicultural. This is something that ISS UK are really good at, having a work environment full of diversity. Another social factor is the increasing trend of sustainability and care for the environment. ISS UK uses CSR work to improve their image in the customer's eyes. For the technological factors, the technology is constantly evolving, and the UK is one of the most advanced countries in the world on this part. ISS UK are currently working on getting more technology system implemented in their procurement, for example, ProcurePass and Coupa, which I explained earlier. They are doing well in the terms of keeping up to date with the technology, but obviously have to keep up the awareness of development, as it takes a while to implement technological systems to such a large company. For the environmental factors, the UK has high changes in weather and seasonal fluctuations, which can impact ISS UK. For an example, the demand for their catering service will increase during holidays. Cleaning might be more needed during times with heavy rain or snow, and the CSR work that ISS UK does can also be relevant for the environmental factors. Lastly, the legal factors include the corporate criminal offence, which is a UK law of 2017, the Modern Slavery Act, which is a UK law of 2015, and these are just generally the ones I've been working with, but any other laws concerning employees' rights and business operations will be a factor to consider. And again, here Brexit can have an effect on this. The strength in the SWOT analysis is that ISS is a global company. They are big on social media, which means that they have great recognition of their brand. Their systems are easy and are tied together, which makes the data easier to analyze. And then the fact that they have the integrated facility service is also a really big strength for them. Their weaknesses include there are very many suppliers and clients, which is hard to keep good relationships with all of them. And then they have some very high-risk services. Again, because it's such a big company, they have a lot of employees, which also all need training. And then not all systems run exactly as they should at the moment. They are working towards this, but it's not exactly perfect yet, which is also a weakness for them. An opportunity could be technological innovation in the future. They have to stay aware of this, and their threats are mostly Brexit, other competitors, and changes in taxes or laws. The British culture has not been hard to interact with at all, as it is very similar to the Danish. One thing I've learned through this experience is how I should act in a business environment or an office. I have learned how communication through emails, Skype meetings, and face-to-face at the office is handled, and I definitely feel more confident within that type of environment after this stay. Being at this internship alone and having to seek and learn from many different people has been a major factor in regard to my gained confidence, as I tend to stay close to what I find familiar and what I'm comfortable with. Having to be alone at such a huge company really forced me to be more outgoing. In relation to the accommodation, I was lucky enough to get a job only 1 hour from London, where my dad lives. I've been staying at his flat in central London and commuting to work every day, which has worked fine, even though the train strikes which occurred in the first week of my internship. I had initially applied for a job within marketing and sales, But since that was not possible, I was placed 1 week within the risk management team and 1 week with the supply chain and procurement team. Reflecting upon that now, I'm very glad that I had to work with something different and more challenging, which provided me with a better understanding of how the company operates.